Hi there everybody and welcome to the sixth part of this course. We finished working with the textures and the materials, and I'm guessing that you've worked on them in your free time to practice. You better have practice your art. Okay, that's what you're meant to be doing. Basically, I'm going to explain the few changes I've done. Well, I've placed here a little piece to rest the chopsticks on. As you can see, it's basically done with a cube, a few clips, and later we can apply the subdivision surface. We also put a pattern on the mat. To be a bit more concrete, it's a parquet with these colors. I guess you'll have chosen others. Like, that's up to you. And not much more. You can see I changed this color here, made it a bit more orange. And later, with these pieces of sushi, apart from this one here, apart from activating the bump, that was also activated with this noise that we've also changed to noise. We've put it on noise, and we put it on the property normal noise. As well as this, we activated displacement. We put in a noise, and we increase the strength. As you can see, the more strength we add, the more visible the effect is. With this, we can get like this deformation. Okay? So if you look at the texture level, you'll see that, well, we've given the glass's bottom another color, but the rest is all the same. We haven't done much more. So let's start now by placing these elements into the scene. Okay, so it's important to know as well that to work into a scene, the final image, personally, I'm going to work with an isometric viewpoint because it looks quite good. If not, obviously, you can work with a perspective view, get the angle, and take the one you like the most. That's the other option. Okay, so we're going to start with all of this. And first, we're going to pull out the menu with all of its elements. We'll get everything. And we'll put it on a group of objects. Okay? That way, we'll have the main scene. We're going to go for a moment to the isometric view. And I'm going to see if this position works better. Or maybe I'll choose another one. I don't know. We'll see. We'll put this one like this. And we'll work from this view. Now, as we've worked from this view, we can start to position a camera that we won't touch anymore for the moment. Only to place the view and to position it, okay? To do this, let's go here, put in a camera, and activate this button here. Now we're inside the camera. Now we want to block the camera because we won't work like this the whole time. In some moments, we'll want to change perspectives. We'll add in a protection tag to avoid moving the camera even if we try to move the scene. Okay, to leave the camera, we just have to click here, and we're out of the camera. We'll put in the perspective view, so that at any moment, we can go to the isometric view if we want, okay? Okay, here, to start cloning the elements, we can do all this by hand, but the most useful and tidy thing to do is to use the cloners. To do this, we'll select Mograph, and we'll choose the cloner option. Okay? Now, for example, we'll get, sushi number 2. Delicious. And we'll put it into the cloner. And as you can see, it's cloned. This exercise is very similar to what we did at the beginning when we did the mat. Now, inside the cloner, we have to determine where and how many sushis we want to clone. Okay, in this case, we'll leave the camera here for now, and we'll place all these elements. Here in this case, we want a line of 4 sushis, okay? So let's go to the cloner, and here we put in 4. If we see that any more would fit in, we could do 5. And now here, without any problem, we can decrease the distance between each of them. Okay? Like this. All right, let's grab this one here, and we'll see that it's exactly the same. We'll put it in the cloner. Oh, it's a Mograph Cloner. With Alt held, and like this, we can put it straight into the cloner. Now we'll go here, and we'll go on to modify all of this. We'll take this one, and we're going to do the same thing. Mograph Cloner. It's important that when we make all of these elements, we make this square. We mark this square, the render option. This will make it so when we generate our image, our render, everything will be a little less heavy. So we'll activate this option in all the clones that we've made. Okay, so let's continue with this and move this part of the video along. Because the procedure is always the same. It's just how you place things. And well, that's that, and that's all up to you. Look for images on Google and look how they're placed. From those images, you can place them and put it however you want, okay? Okay, so now we have everything placed. As you can see, we've placed everything pretty easily and directly, okay? Always remember to activate the instance when into each of the cloners that we make, okay? Now that everything's placed, the next step is to go to the camera we placed before. Okay, let's order all of the elements we've made, and we're going to put them in the scene. Okay, so now we have to go to this icon here, and now from effects, we can activate both global illumination, because we've placed it right here. Okay. And the ambient occlusion. That's also placed here. Activate these 2 boxes. In the next step, we'll save and give the document a name. Okay. We'll choose where to save the document. We can also activate the alphas. It's important. It's important to activate them. Now we'll go here to anti-aliasing and choose best. And we can test as well that all of the shadows are activated. Okay, so here in output, we're going to put in the necessary size for our image. We're going to use the size 2000 by 2000. Okay, so take away the protection tag. And we're going to position the image. If it feels like we need more space, we just have to go back here and modify these numbers. Okay? If you feel like you need more space from people, you just need to let them know. Communication is key. Changing numbers is key, whether it's in illustrating, Photoshop, or with people, with girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever it is, man. If you need more space, then you've got to let that person know. Just do it. And if that person doesn't give you space, then you know what? You don't need that person. Same as with programs. If the program will let you make more space, then why have the program in the first place? Get another one. Okay? This one's a good one, the one that we're using right now. When we square it up, we'll put the protection tag on the camera again, okay? All right, so right now, we don't have any light in the scene. So obviously, everything is going to look a bit dark. But it's okay. Don't be afraid. We're going to make some area light. And we'll place it right here. And one of the views, we can grab the light and place it better. Okay? We'll go into the light and we'll activate the shadows with shadow maps. We'll also activate the area shadow as a defect, but it will make the render a little slower. Okay? So we'll put in the shadow maps. Okay, so let's see how it looks. And let's go now to this option, and we're going to activate the physical sky, okay? We'll go back to deactivate these two options so we can make the render go a bit faster. And we're not using up too much of the computer's memory, which is important. Okay. The physical sky, we won't touch anything. We just have to configure the time and the date. And from these panels, we can modify the different parameters. I imagine you already know this, right, guys? We'll increase the intensity a little bit, and we'll put in a color that's a little whiter, okay? If we just use these two lights, it will actually kind of be enough. If we hit click here to generate a definitive image, okay. Sorry. First, we have to activate the ambient occlusion and the global illumination. Okay. So now let's see what we have. Okay, this is done. So you can see in the first image we got, because we've got a few, we have a texture error in the glass and in the alpha. I'm going to keep the last image that I got where there's just an area shadow and I've raised the light's intensity. Okay. To solve this, we just have to deactivate these two boxes. Activate the top one and keep the other two deactivated. From this last render we got, we can work on it, okay? We'll get this image and we're going to take it to Photoshop. Here we'll make some last-minute modifications to the image. Here we have the alpha as well. Now, we can easily take the alpha and copy-paste to make it the definitive image without a background. We're going to work now with this image. As you'll already know, we open this option here and we can make some modifications to the image without being too destructive. We can modify the colors, the brightness, the saturation, etc. There's a really good Google plugin that's free, and it's called Nick Software. I recommend you get it, and you can start doing some pretty cool stuff with it. Okay? If you download this plugin and you install it, you'll see here a filter tab. Okay, it's this plugin here. In this Nick collection. This one to be concrete, Color Effects Pro. We'll go into this plugin And we can see a bunch of filters that we can start applying. If, for example, we put in the cross-processing, it'll give us a series of filters that we can apply, and later we can play with the effects intensities. We can also put some filters on top of everything. They work in more or less the same way as an adjustment layer, so if you've downloaded the plugin, you can check it out. Seriously, give it a look. From here, you can also make the control points and lower the intensity on the effects in general. Personally, I have some combinations and formulas that I made. If we apply some kind of formula, we can see here. Okay, we can see the various effects I've used. Also, everything is preserved in case we want to add in more filters, no problem. Okay, so when we have it, we hit accept, and we'll get the image in Photoshop. Okay, so now we have to lower the opacity and see the difference between the treated image and the original. You can also remove the settings layer. With this option, you can also take away this filter that we've applied. We'll give it a background. We'll go into properties, and in this layer, we'll add in a radial gradient. And we'll modify some of the colors to add a gradient. Okay, something like this. We would have the work done. As you can see, with this plugin and Photoshop, we can do a lot of things. If not, we always have the traditional way, applying the settings and the layers. That's however you want to do that. Apart from the work we've done here, we also have other work with other examples, so you can see what type of things we can do and the different results we'll get. This example you can see right here, for example, it's just something quite similar, okay? The base is the same. In this case, we used a different kind of tile on the mat, and both the color and the lights are a bit different, but the result is pretty much the same. The interesting thing is that this you can touch on different themes. For example, you can do the same thing but with Mexican food, because appropriation is okay. As you've seen, the exercise of the course itself is quite simple. It's on an initiation level, and we've done it with all the cubes and all the primitive shapes. I hope that you've liked this a bunch and you get into it and start practicing a bunch, and I'll see you in the next course. See you later. Goodbye. Goodbye.